Good afternoon, everybody. This is John, and today we're going to be discussing a successful start in the world of digital arts and visual arts. We're going to be taking a look at 21st century skills. Now, before I begin, I want you to understand that this discussion is not about just purely the art room or just the digital media lab. In fact, I'm only going to talk about that side of my connection to the 21st century skills slightly. I want you to imagine how you could apply this to lessons of today, tomorrow, and how to utilize these skills throughout this presentation to really build a fully well-rounded student and citizen. So let me ask you a question. Your students, are they ready? Have you given them the skills to pay the bills? In order for our students to be college and career ready, we need to remember that they're not only an academic student because they're in our classroom. We're also responsible for helping build a well-rounded individual. Because one day they will be adults and one day they will be at your job site. So we need to make sure that their academic and technical knowledge is strong. We need to make sure that they have academic and technical skill before they leave high school. We want them to understand what employability knowledge is and what employability skills are. And how by having all these, how they can become very successful in the careers that they choose to go after. So what are these 21st century skills? Well, they're simple in a way. Each of them have their own little bit of a discussion though. So let's just look at what they are overall. They're collaborative. Is an individual that has initiative, social skills, creativity, someone with leadership capabilities, somebody with media literacy, somebody that has flexibility, technology literacy, productivity, critical thinking, and information literacy. So let's just eyeball a few of these. Flexibility. Is your student going to be able to be flexible with how college operates, the workload, or even the new schedule? But also in the job, are they flexible in the ability academically to learn a new skill if they need to? Are they technically able to take on a new challenge? Productivity. Quite simple. Who's going to hire somebody that's not productive? Or someone that doesn't bring greatness to the team? Collaborative. How are you ever going to work in a team to design something simplistic? Or maybe be part of a team to design a rocket ship? Collaboration is key. We need to make sure that our students know how to work in teams of people they know, but more specifically how they can work in teams with people they don't. Do they take initiative? Every boss loves an employee that shows initiative. Even as a teacher, I love it when students show initiative. Social skills. That ties right into collaboration. Are they good with social skills? Are they able to connect? Validate what they're speaking on behalf of? Are they able to make friends? Are they able to comfortably sit down in a new surrounding and adapt and work with? Creativity. That's a big one. But I'm an art teacher, so I'll step back from that because I could spend hours on creativity. Leadership capabilities. We need to build them to be strong leaders. And of course, information literacy and media literacy, which we all keep continually discussing as educators moving towards the 21st century of education. So how about my classroom? My strengths and what's next? Well, you can see my strengths. I think I do a pretty good job of those. I'm personally working on flexibility. Sometimes weeks don't go the way they planned. Sometimes my lessons don't intrigue or kick off or end in the way with the outcome that I was hoping for. It's okay though. You gotta be flexible. And I also want my students to see that I'm flexible with how things need to change throughout our learning curves together. Information literacy. I want to get better at explaining fake news. Let's pick that as a topic. I'm not good at that yet with my students, and I want to get stronger at that. Leadership capabilities. As a former Marine and a manager for many years before I found myself in education, I think I'm good at training strong leaders. But sometimes I need to remember that they aren't my employees and they aren't my my Marines. So I need to work on a softer way, I think, at times to help students find the leadership qualities that they have within them. And I like that challenge. Social skills. I'm really trying to get better at separating friends, per se, in the classroom. Somehow developing seating arrangements that change more frequently in order to have students work with different diverse learners, different ideas, and be able to view different perspectives when looking at the same project. Though I'm good at this, I still think I need some work on that. 3 skills for the 21st century learner. Number 1, knowing more about the world. A focus on the reality that all students in today's classrooms are global citizens, and we need to develop a student that is aware and sensitive to foreign culture, global literate in the art of trade, and able to speak in one or many different languages. As a global traveler, I find myself many times having to learn languages, both for fun, but also for survival in long extended stays places. Number 2, thinking outside the box. Students must learn to think for themselves and learn how to look broader across multiple disciplines, focusing on combining examples such as mathematics and art. There's so much math in art. It's a whole other way to teach it. Technology and design kind of go hand in hand. But by focusing on just one, we're not rounding out the student. We're asking them to look at one specific thing, do it in one specific way, and continually do that. By mixing it up, by having them look at where they can pull information from and how they can utilize it in different places is key. Teach them how to be creative and innovative. No more mundane thoughts. Number 3, developing good people skills. Your students' EQ is just as important as their IQ. Focus on developing personal, social, and workforce etiquette skills, emphasizing to our students the world works, evolves, and innovates with large teams, the importance of communication skills, and understanding, adapting, and working with people from different cultures. So, let's just look at one of my lessons I've done for years, and let's look at how I can modify it a bit. So, an old approach to learning how to teach students how to draw portraits. You always talk about Chuck Close and the ever easy grid system. I kind of leave it at, let's learn our history behind Chuck Close and how he used to create his artworks. Then we look at his grid system. Then we go after practicing facial features within a small grid, moving up to taking a photograph, putting a grid on it, creating a grid, transferring through drawing, and then we kind of just approach it with oils, oil pastels, 2-tone, 3-tone color. But what about my new approach? To create a self-portrait by utilizing one of the many different drawing practices demonstrated or researched by my students. Leaving them room to either take what they've learned from me and create that way, or push the envelope by finding other ways in which other artists have created the same project. So skill number 1 and skill number 2 that I spoke about are used. We're thinking outside the box. It's allowing my students to choose a style in which to create their portrait after the foundationally drawing the outline image using the grid system. So I'm still having them learn the foundational true studio practice. I'm including mathematics to help them build their ruler skills. All these things are still in play. But by allowing the students to research different ways in which contemporary and modern artists created self-portraits, and then have them complete the self-portrait in that way, that opens up a door. I'm not sticking to one artist when discussing grid or self-portraits anymore. I'm always a sucker for Chuck Close, and I'll always start with Chuck. But there's many other beautiful self-portrait artists out there that need to be included in the art discussion or researched by my students in order to open and broaden this idea of how to create. Skill number 3 was used. We all have strengths and weaknesses, abilities and troubles, things we are better at than others, and things we just plain stick at. Use your resources. We all have taken advice from a teacher's assistant more than once in our life, so why not create an opportunity outside your demonstrations that allows for your students to research other ways to create? They need to know how to ask a friend, how'd you do that? Or how did you find out how to do that? We need to create a scenario where they're working off each other, bouncing ideas off each other, or bouncing ideas within their own head off the many images, articles, and research that they do. These are just a few of the references that we spent reading over this past week, and I really found most of the information in there that really helped create this. I hope you had a good time. Thank you.